Stop buying gym equipment. No, seriously. The truth is, most people don't have a workout problem. They have a data, habits, and consistency problem. And the number one reason your physique just isn't where you want it to be, it's not the equipment. No. It's because you don't know what's actually working. Today, I'm giving you the exact tools that I use to get stronger, leaner, and healthier without buying more equipment. The No Fate channel, checking in. Jonathan here, and I've spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on home gym equipment.
Shut up and take my money.
And one quick look on Facebook Marketplace, you know what you're gonna find? Brand new home gym equipment, barely used. Because people think, if I just buy this, I'll finally get in shape. But what actually works is way simpler. Building healthy habits, tracking the right data, and removing friction. So here are 6 things that changed everything for me, and not one of them is a power rack. Number 1 is not the most exciting thing on the list, probably far from it, but arguably the most important, and that is Tupperware. You know, I know that your physique, it's not really made in the gym, it's made in the kitchen, and you can never out-train a bad diet. Now, good news is most of you watching today's video probably have very good eating habits when you're home. Unfortunately, when you get put into a sticky situation, you go right down the drain quick. When you're on the go or you're traveling or what have you, the next thing you know, you are hungry and you don't have anything to eat, so you go through the drive-thru, you get fast food, you eat that junky processed snack. And by having Tupperware, it allows you to pre-make your meals. And you don't have to use it all the time, but it's nice when they're in the refrigerator, you throw them in a cooler, throw it in your car, and you've got it on the go when you need it. And that once in a while random fast food trip or junk food binge is gonna set you back weeks. By having prepped meals in your refrigerator, you're able to just throw them in a cooler, take them on the go, and stop yourself from making those mistakes. Now, personally, I happen to like glass. It is heavier, it is more expensive, but I find that I'm just trying to get away from plastic as much as possible, and especially if I have to nuke something in the microwave, I never want to nuke anything that's actually going to be sitting in plastic. Now, one of my favorite go-tos, and one thing that you can actually not only batch make, which makes it super time-saving, you can also eat it cold and it tastes delicious. That's overnight oats. Now, you go online, there's going to be hundreds of different recipes. I'll put a few of my favorites down below in the description. Remember, you don't need a better bench. You need consistency with whole food. If you take one thing away from today's video, it's simply to stop worrying about the weight on the scale. Because when you gain muscle, your weight actually goes up, and when you lose muscle, it goes down, but you're skinny fat. And that's where having a body composition scale like this Hume Body Pod Smart Scale changes everything. This thing tracks over 40 different metrics. Not just weight, but body fat percentage, water retention, metabolic age, bone density, and the list goes on. Most body composition scales on the market today, they only track your lower half. The Hume Smart Scale, this thing does it all. Your legs, your arms, and your torso. So it gives you a much more accurate information and a much better picture of where you stand. The accuracy on this smart scale is off the chart. I mean, it's literally 98% as accurate as a very expensive DEXA scan. And here's the game changer with this bad boy. You can finally answer the age-old question, are you actually losing fat or just weight? Because if you're losing muscle, you're actually going backwards. Once you download the app, the setup is quick, and taking your weight measurement utilizing the smart scale takes only a few seconds. And the more you utilize this, the more information it has to give you a complete picture of yourself, of your system, of your actual health. The app is where this thing really shines. It's intuitive, it shows you your progress graphs, your health score, and your overall trends. Now, I do have a coupon code. Like everything in life, No Fate 24/7 is going to save you 20% off. And I think if you go on their website right now, I'll put a link in the description, it's actually 50% off. So I don't know if you can double dip with that code, but it might be worth a shot. If you are only tracking your weight, you are making decisions based on a lack of information. Getting a body composition scale like this Hume Body Pod, it gives you all the information you need to know that if you need to stay on track with what you're doing with your diet and your workouts, or if you need to make changes. And knowing is half the battle. Number 3, ice baths. And no, not because it's trendy, not because you're gonna burn more fat sitting in a cold water, and certainly not because it's gonna help you recover quicker so you can be like Wolverine. Simply put, it is the fastest way to do a mental reset I have ever found. It's like flipping a switch on your mood. Stress drops and your focus spikes. If you care about your physique at all, you better be paying close attention to your stress levels, because high stress levels will absolutely wreck your hormones. They are gonna kill your gains, they're gonna slow your recovery, and they're gonna hinder your fat loss. You don't wake up thinking, yeah, today's the day I'm just gonna suffer. But you do it anyway. And not only is that gonna help you reduce your stress, spike your focus, get you in a better mood, but that resiliency, that mental toughness is gonna translate to everything else you do in life. If you're on the fence about cold plunges and ice baths, you can always start simple. Just jump in your shower, put the water on cold, and hang out for 2 minutes. Number 4 is another one. Yep, another one that's just not sexy, and that's massagers. Now, most people are focused, locked in on training harder, but no one's focused on recovering better. And that's the absolute bottleneck, because if you're sore, tight, if your body feels beat up, you're not training at your best, even if you think you're going as hard as possible. The good news is these things have gotten way cheaper. The quality's gone up, the prices have gone down, and there's tons of competition, so you can pick between thousands of them on Amazon. This is a Bob and Brad one that is ultimately my favorite. I've tried dozens, and I do mean dozens, that I've reviewed on this channel. This is the one that I've actually kept because it works very simply. It's easy to hold. You don't have different heads that you have to attach and lose and make sure you have keep track of. They're all attached. You get 4 different options. You get 4 different speeds. It's ultra powerful, and I love it. But you don't need to buy this one. There are tons of them out there, and it's just nice to have. And you're not gonna use this every day. You're not even gonna use it every workout, but you will use it when you've got a tight muscle that you wanna loosen up. Maybe you've got inflammation in the joint, and you wanna work that inflammation away from the joint. I always use this massager. Or if you're just looking to improve circulation in certain areas, I will use this massager as well. It's just one of those things that it's nice to have in your toolbox, and we got to pay more attention to recovery than you do to your training. This is a nice weapon to have in your toolbox at your disposal, and once you buy one, it's probably going to be good for 10 years for home use. I will tell you the punchline: you don't need to train harder, you just need to recover better. Number 5, tracking your sleep score. And this is where so many people just leave gains on the table. Because if you've got your perfect workout, you've got your dialed in diet, but if your sleep sucks, your fat loss is gonna slow, your hormones are gonna tank, and you're just gonna not have the energy you need the next day to crush it in the gym. Thankfully, there are a number of devices with regards to rings and bands and watches and everything else in between that will track your sleep score. And you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. I've reviewed ones that only cost $20 that give you a pretty accurate assessment of how you're sleeping. And once you start tracking your sleep score, we know what gets measured gets managed. You're gonna look for ways to boost that score. That means keeping screens off for the hour before bed, putting your phone on do not disturb, putting your phone far away from you when you're sleeping in a very dark room, and keeping the temperature of your room cool. Better sleep directly translates to better health. And the final one, this is gonna hurt just a little bit. You need a real, actual workout program. Most of you, when you go to the gym, whether it's your local gym or your home gym, you come down there and you don't have a plan, zero plan, and you're bouncing around from one exercise to another, getting your pump on, thinking you're doing great, and you're just not making any progress. And then the craziest thing of it all, you act surprised when nothing ever changes. That's like going into a business with no plan whatsoever and expecting to see great results. It's just not gonna happen. Sorry, not sorry. You need to have a specific workout plan, and there's dozens out there. I'm not gonna tell you what's the right workout plan for you. Even the most simple, structured plan is going to beat out, I'm just gonna do what I feel like today, every time. And they're not expensive. You can go online and certainly buy expensive workout programs, but there's, I don't know, a couple million online that are absolutely free. You can even download an app that will give you a workout program. You can download an app that has dozens of workout programs for you to choose from. And there's even apps that you dial in how many days a week you want to work out, what equipment you have access to, your intensity levels, and your goals. There's everything out there under the sun. My only suggestion would be to work backwards. Set the goals that you're looking to target, find a workout program that matches those goals, and don't go crazy. Don't pick something that's going to have you train 7 days a week. Find a happy median, something that you can hit consistently week in and week out in terms of the time in the gym, as well as the number of sessions per week. And if you want, this is probably not the best case scenario, but it's still better than no plan at all. You could just make up your own workout program so that you have something to follow every time you go into the gym. But remember, having no plan is planning to fail. So before you buy another piece of home gym equipment, ask yourself this: do I have the data to track my progress? Do I have a system to dial in my nutrition? Are you working as hard on recovery as you are on training? And do you actually have a training program that's dialed in to match your goals? Because the people who actually see results, no, they're not the ones with the most expensive gyms. They're the ones with the best systems in place. If you're looking for more suggestions on how to have a healthier lifestyle, look better, feel better, and not buy any more gym equipment, then check out these 2 videos. As usual, thanks for watching. Check the links out in the description, hit the subscribe button, and never save anything for the trip back.